All right. Real Talk with Chuck and Pam, we're back. And we're doing another video podcast because we've gotten such a positive response, tons and tons of views and feedback.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
No?
Yeah, today I'm really feeling my age. And I
75?
feel as though, yes, and I feel as though I'm really looking 75 today. I just really feel that way. So, you know, I apologize, everyone who's watching. That's all I can say.
Well, let's just get your acting gear and let's tell us, what have you watched this week, Chuck Koplinski?
I watched a really good movie, a really good movie, and then a real turd.
Ooh.
So that's
Wow.
what I've been doing.
Do tell. Let's start off with the good stuff and then go down to the shit.
The really good movie was BlackBerry, and I think you've seen that too.
Yes.
Boy, really smart movie. And the other thing I liked about it was that I knew nothing. I mean, I had a BlackBerry.
Did you?
Yeah, and
ooh, you were cool.
It was cool, not cool, a conscious cool thing. You know, my wife knows how pissed off I get with cell phones.
Yes.
And all that. So she just would do it, and she came and said, "Here's your new phone." And I had this thing, and I'm like, "What is this? This small thing? I'm gonna hate it." I loved it, just loved it. But I had no idea how it was born, the heights that the company reached, or why we no longer have Blackberries. And this movie tells us everything. Guy by the name of Matt Johnson made it. I never heard of him, and he's got a part in the film. And it's kind of shot documentary style, which I thought was really cool. You get this fly-on-the-wall feeling as you're watching all this stuff unfold. Jay Baruchel is always good, you know, and he almost unrecognizable here. He's got this gray wig on. You know, he's the nerd. He's the genius behind this thing. And then Glenn Howerton, who I didn't even know who he was for a while. And then it clicked with me because he's so different. He's one of the guys on It's Sunny in Philadelphia.
Right.
And he's got this bald thing going here, and he is, on the movie poster for his character, they drew devil horns. That's an understatement as to what this character is like. It is so counter from what he does on Philadelphia that it was just striking. I'm like, oh my God, this guy can act. But it was surprising. It was engaging. I love when I'm learning something while I'm being entertained. And you don't often get that. And I got that with this. And it's towards the top of my list for this year. I know you didn't like Air as much as I did, but there was so many similarities between the films as far as you see the creation of these cultural, not just products, but cultural phenomenon.
Right.
And what goes into that. And I really thought that was cool.
Cool. Tell me what else you've been watching.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were going to chime in.
No, I'm going to have my own whole turn to tell you what I thought about it.
All right. And then I watched White Men Can't Jump, which is premiering on Hulu on the 19th, which is tomorrow.
Right.
You know what? I don't remember a thing about the original. I don't remember a thing about it. I know who was in it, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, and I think it was Rosie Perez. Yeah. But I couldn't tell you a thing about it. I mean, I think I saw it once and boop. So I didn't have anything hanging over my head as I was watching this. But boy, I really like this film. This kid named, what's his name?
Jeremy.
Yeah, no, that's the character. Jack Harlow. Yeah, I guess he's a rapper guy.
Yeah, from
Kentucky.
Yes, Louisville, actually. Kelsey knows of him.
He plays Jeremy, and then the other guy, what is his name? I know you got it written down here.
I actually
I'm going to cheat. What do you mean you don't? You usually have all the stuff. The other actor,
right.
And I wrote this review not too long ago.
I know, I just wrote mine this morning.
He's really good too. The chemistry between these two guys.
Sinqua
Walls. Yes, that's why, and I could forget that name. Sinqua Walls. And I looked him up. He's been around for 10, 15 years. And I'm hoping this thing helps him go because he's really good here. Just the chemistry these two have. You know, both their characters want to be in the NBA. Both of them have problems of various sorts. They're hustling money through these pickup games. And the basketball really isn't the thing. It's the chemistry between these two. It's how they deal with, the film deals with issues of race, but it does it in a humorous, smart way. It deals with issues of gender equality and does it in a humorous, smart way. It doesn't beat you over the head, and it's not crude.
Right.
I mean, my fear was this was going to be MF this, MF that, F you, and it's not that at all. I mean, there is some of that.
I'm trying to think if there was.
But it's not constant like my fear was.
Okay.
It's all about this relationship And I really got a kick out of it. I was pleasantly surprised.
Good, good.
Not so with the mother.
No?
The mother.
The mother ever.
The mother. Yeah, we're supposed to take it serious because we never know Jennifer Lopez's name in the movie. She's just
the mother.
The mother. Oh my God, she's so serious. You would think that Lopez was doing Shakespeare here. She's so serious.
Oh my goodness.
She's so serious in this movie. I don't think she smiles. I think she was told that her face would crack if she smiled or showed any emotion. So we have no emotion at all. But she's a undercover agent spy person thing who in the first scene is trying to come in from out of the cold, negotiating some deal. And I didn't realize she was pregnant until about 10 minutes into this thing, when then one of the big bad guys comes and stabs her in the stomach. And somehow or another, she and the baby survive.
Right.
Knowing that it is in the baby's best interest, she gives the girl up to foster home. And 12 years later, of course, there's a problem. There's a leak, and the bad guys, they're still bad, and they're still pissed. And so they kidnap the girl, and the mother has to go get her. Oh, my God. And, of course, she's got all these skills. You know, she went to the Liam Neeson school of getting these badass skills. And she's got these skills. Oh, it's completely. It's totally it. Yeah. And so they go get her, and they go to Alaska, where she lives, but of course the bad guys are still pissed. So they've got, this is a, you know, I don't know if I've coined this phrase or not, but I'm going to, and I'm going to talk about cinematic bloat right now. Movies are too goddamn long right now.
Yeah.
This movie's 1:45.
Oh gosh.
It's too long by half. It's too long. It should have been boop, 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 and it would have been much better. And the action at times isn't bad. I mean, it's okay for these types of, but it's just her. She's just so serious, and this is the type of material that provide, you know, you have to have a little humor here. You know, when you look back at Stallone and Schwarzenegger and those guys, yeah, they played these roles, but also there was a joke here or there, you know, and you knew that they weren't taking it all that serious most of the time. This though, this is a vanity project.
Yeah, think.
And boy, it is, you know, it's a one-note performance, and it is off-key all the way through. So that's on Netflix. You can skip that.
There you go. All right. Now it's going to be my turn.
We're going to do it. We're going to call this the turnaround.
The turnaround.
We're just going to turn it. This is the turnaround segment of our program. This is going to be that. You know, if we had sponsors, this is where we'd have a sponsor.
That's right.
But,
sponsors are welcome.
Anytime.
So
what did you see?
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start in reverse order because I really want to talk a little bit about the mother. And I don't know if I can top what you've just said about the mother.
Well, I'm tired and punchy and pissed off, so you know.
That's probably about all there really does need to be said, other than the fact that I did like their shots. I liked the cinematography of this.
It's a well-made film.
It is.
Yeah.
And Nikki Caro, who gave us Whale Rider and The Zookeeper's Wife, two really wonderful films, films that really stick in my head. And this one will be flushed down the toilet as quickly as well, you know what. Yeah. But I'm surprised that Nikki Caro attached herself to this project. It is just not her MO whatsoever. Yeah. Money. And you know what? A chance to direct Jennifer Lopez, I'm sure, is on the top of a lot of people's lists after meeting her, quote unquote, meeting her. I have zero desire to ever really interact with her.
Do you keep that in mind whenever you see her now?
I do, and I really try hard not to,
Me
Chuck.
too.
I really try hard not to. And I go in with a fresh viewpoint, and it just, you know, I get sucked into saying, yeah, she looks great. She is one of the most mid-50-year-olds I could possibly imagine. And she looks amazing. But yes, she is a one-note wonder in this. And I did like seeing Alaska, and I did like seeing Cuba, because I was just in Cuba. They went to Havana. Yeah. Other than that, I think just skip this one completely off your list. It is trending in the, I think, #3 position on Netflix on that little chart.
Okay.
Hopefully people are just turning it on for 10 minutes and then turning it off. And I will admit, I fell asleep in the middle somewhere. So I'm not quite sure what I missed, but I don't think I missed much.
Same old, I think you missed.
It is. And then White Men Can't Jump. I've watched that movie several times. I haven't seen it probably in the last 10 or 15 years. And I liked the original movie. I really enjoyed this fresh new take, this updated version. They have one of the original writers and director from the 1992 version on this as a co-writer as well. So I think that helped keep it in the same kind of storyline. You know, we've got two guys that they're polar opposites. They hate each other, then they like each other. They develop a friendship. They help each other become better men. And that's key. They like you said, they have that chemistry and they grow up. They become better men. And I really had a lot of fun with it. It was funny. It was filled with heart. All those one-liners, I can't remember one of them, but I laughed. You just can't keep track. It's really fast-paced, really wonderfully done. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I know it's taking a lot of heat for not being the original, but you know what? I like the fact that it's in today's world. We talk about race. We talk about gender. We talk about opioid addiction. And, you know, I'm looking at the scar on my knee right now, and that looks very similar to Jeremy's scars that he has, and he is addicted to opioids because of the constant pain. They don't harp on that, but they throw it in there, and that's one of the things that moves this plot forward as his character develops. I had a lot of fun with it, so check that out. That is streaming on Hulu starting tomorrow.
I'm trying to think of the two guys who were in support.
Oh,
who cracked me up every time they opened their mouth. I mean, they were just
the supporting cast is wonderful.
Really funny.
It really is. And then the comment about the guy's ears and Dumbo and
Dumbo,
flying.
Jesus. Yeah.
I have to say the girl that played Tatiana, Jeremy's girlfriend, is the Rosie Perez character version.
Yes.
She didn't have what Rosie had. Rosie was a powerhouse in that film, and she truly is one of the standouts of the 1992 version. She doesn't have it. That doesn't say that she's not good in her role. It just isn't Rosie.
Her name is Laura Harrier.
Thank you.
She has other things.
All right, whatever.
The other two guys, Miles Bullock as Renzo and Vince Staples. It's Speedy.
Yes, Speedy.
Hilarious, both these guys.
Very good. It's a lot of fun. There is a little bit of basketball, which is a lot of fun to see as well. And then let's talk about BlackBerry. I think, again, you had an interview with Jay Baruchel and Matt Johnson. Is that right?
No, Glenn Howerton. Matt was sick that day.
Matt,
so,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Check that out on our Facebook page. You can see that interview. And this, to me, was one of my top movies of the year also. I equate this more to Tetris. Again, you know, something that an origin story of tech, snoozer, right? No, not at all. I was on the edge of my seat the entire film. I loved these characters. They were way over the top, but I think realistically so. Yeah. And the story and the arc of it, and going from this powerhouse to nothing, was gripping, and Glenn Howerton was amazing in this role. I don't know that I put devil horns on him. We got to know, initially he did seem a little bit of the devil, and he had his own best interests at heart. However, we got to know who this character was, and I think that's what differs between this movie and Air. We got to know the characters and what motivated them and who they were, versus Air, we never really got to know the characters enough. So I think that's the difference to me, and that's why I like Tetris much more than Air. And I'll put Tetris and BlackBerry together. And tech in the 80s and 90s is riveting, which is kind of a crazy thing.
It's because it looks so antiquated now, and you're like,
know,
wait a second, that was cool.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, who knew that, you know, everything was like, when you wanted to send an email, it would shut down the entire system. Ma Bell, you know, broke her chimes. I mean, it was over. So it's kind of cool for those of us who are old enough to know what that reference meant. It's kind of cool to see. And those who don't understand that reference, will give you a little bit more background as to how tech really has just exploded in the last 50 years. So that's it for Real Talk with Chuck and Pam this week. And I'm going to flip around again because you are much better at keeping track of what's up for next week.
Well, you know, say a prayer for me. I'm going to see Fast X tonight. So I don't know if I have any brain cells to spare, but I'm going in. We will see what we will see as far as that's concerned. Also, next week, we'll talk about Kandahar with Gerard Butler. Had an interview with the director, Rick Romanois, which will be on, we'll post that and everything. And then The Little Mermaid. Neither of us have gotten to it, but it is in the offing, so we'll get to that too eventually.
Sounds good. Thanks for tuning in.